In other news, stranded passengers have been pouring into the region's airports, glad to have finally beaten the ban on flights, while others are trying to start journeys delayed by the volcanic ash cloud.
But will they be compensated for the delays they've faced? What about those who have paid to get home by other means, on the train or by taxi? Martin Stew has been getting some answers.
The planes are back in the sky, and at Stansted, warm welcomes and great relief at being home.
Oh, it's horrible, mate. You know what I mean? You just couldn't believe it, how bad it was.
We've had 3 flights booked this week and they've been cancelled day after day, so we didn't know when we were coming back.
It was fun at first, like the first 2 days it was nice to relax, like enjoy like the excursions and stuff, but then after a while it did get tedious and boring.
Stansted's now even busier than usual, dealing with 50,000 passengers each day. But as this lot return home, the feeling of relief at being back will soon turn to thoughts of compensation and how to get it.
We went for 2 nights, and we're coming back 9 days later.
God, and how much is that going to cost you?
It's cost me about £2,500 extra.
Do you know what you'll do about compensation?
No idea right now. Just want to get home.
So, what are your rights, and can you get your cash back?
I booked flights independently and was stranded at the airport. Does the airline have to pay for food and drink and accommodation?
Absolutely. The airline has to foot the bill for any reasonable food, accommodation costs, drink costs, even a couple of phone calls that you make. It's the airline's responsibility. They have the duty of care for you.
I've had to pay like 225 quid for a one-way ticket back here today.
Do you reckon you'll be able to get that back?
I'll try.
What if I've booked a package holiday? Am I covered for extra hotel nights and food?
The great news is, even though you're stuck maybe where you don't want to be, if you've booked a package holiday and it's with an ABTA travel agent or tour operator, you are absolutely covered. They will take care of you. You shouldn't have to worry about anything at all.
Altogether, I think it was nearly €400.
Wow. And do you think you'll be able to get that money back?
Nah.
What is the difference between an EU carrier and a non-EU carrier?
In this case, it's only EU carriers that have that legal obligation to pay for your reasonable costs incurred by the delay. Non-EU carriers will have different rules. However, Which has heard that, most carriers are really kind of stepping up and looking after their passengers, whether they're in the EU or not.
Good news for Ryanair customers after saying they wouldn't pay out. This afternoon, Chief Exec Michael O'Leary changed his mind.
We will pay or reimburse the reasonable receipted expenses of passengers who've been disrupted for the last 7 days, regardless of how absurd we think these kind of obligations are.
A relief, no doubt, for the thousands still making their way home. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Stansted.
Now some news in brief, and police in Bedfordshire are stepping up their search for a 3-year-old boy who hasn't been seen for 9 days. Nathan Williams is originally from Luton but recently moved to London with his mother. He was taken by his father, also called Nathan Williams, on April the 13th against his mother's wishes. Police are keen to hear from anyone with information.
We are very concerned. Obviously, Mum is very upset and so is the rest of his family. We know that Dad is under a lot of stress at the moment, but nevertheless, it's been a week since he's seen Mum and he will want to see his Mum. That's why we're asking people to come forward, tell us where he is.
Trading Standards officers have seized 15 toy guns from Ipswich Market that they say are capable of causing serious injury. The toys contain a laser that, if shone into someone's eye, could burn the retina. They're marketed for children as young as 5, but carry no warnings or instructions. The advice, if you've purchased one, is not to use it and to inform Trading Standards.
We purchased one of the guns and we sent it off to a laboratory which is accredited to test lasers, and they tested it and found the power was 17 times more than that allowed for a laser in a toy, and there is potential that it may cause damage if shined into anyone's eye even for a split second.
Now do stay with us. Still to come, we're live at an RAF homecoming parade in the...
A group of travellers have set up camp next door to Colchester United Stadium in Essex. Around 15 caravans have been parked near the stadium entrance in United Way for about 10 days. The club say they hope they'll move on as soon as possible. A government report has revealed what it calls as a pressing need for more traveller sites in the Colchester area.
Sailors, fishermen, walkers and birdwatchers are being asked to help crack down on maritime crime in a new campaign. Police are asking for help to deter criminals and terrorists from operating in the region's waters. Although there's no direct threat, they're asking people to be vigilant to help fight crime in harbours, ports and along the coast. Scientists in Norwich say they've made a breakthrough in their attempts to stop an infectious disease killing conker trees. The Institute of Food Research has decoded the bacteria attacking horse chestnut trees. In some areas, up to 70% of the trees are infected by bleeding canker.
Now, as we heard earlier in the programme, just 2 weeks today will be Election Day. And over the next fortnight, we're going to be putting the spotlight on some key seats in our region that will make up the Battleground 2010.
We start tonight with Waveney in Suffolk, the most easterly constituency in Britain. It's 116th on the Conservatives' target list.
Well, that makes it the final seat the Tories would need to gain if they're to win a majority. Victoria Webb's been to Lowestoft in the heart of our first Battleground constituency.
There was a time when Lowestoft was a thriving seaside resort with a huge fishing industry, but it's had to adapt with the times.
When I first started, 30 trawlers landing in a week, and now we haven't got any trawlers at all, and all we're relying on is the longshore boats.
Now Lowestoft is becoming well known for its role in renewable energy. Home to Gulliver, the largest wind turbine in the UK, the town could soon see a real boost to its economy, with plans for 1,000 new turbines off the Norfolk and North Suffolk coast. This election will see Labour's Bob Blizzard bid for a fourth term as the area's MP.
They say that each turbine is worth a job, so we're talking 1,000 jobs on the turbines, but then there's a supply chain as well. So we just think that's an opportunity to be grabbed. I think that we can get those jobs for Lowestoft as long as we continue the investment and don't start cutting back now.
As well as Lowestoft, the Waveney constituency comprises the market towns of Beccles and Bungay. With a population of around 100,000, the Conservatives need a 6% swing to remove Bob Blizzard's majority of 6,000. It's fair to say Lowestoft has seen better days and is in real need of investment. Last year, the TV-making plant Sanyo closed. There have been redundancies at the engineering firm SLP, and the timber company here, Gerald Wen, is in the process of closing its factory.
I've been made redundant twice since I've been down this way, and really I've been done a little bit of work for the council, but that's about it really.
So they've been on about for 40 years a new bridge that they said they were going to do, and they haven't done it.
The Liberal Democrat candidate Alan Dean says improving traffic links should be high up on the agenda.
Well, they've been talking for years and years and years about a third crossing over the River Waveney, and it's about time the talking stopped and the action began.
There's obviously a lot of small business in the town, and I mean recently I've seen a lot of shops close, a lot of small businesses close, and I think that is a big worry.
Lowestoft has in fact been named the most enterprising place in Britain for transforming its economy. But the Conservative candidate Peter Aldous, who is visiting the site of a new factory, says there should be more support for small businesses.
I listen to so many people who say, set up my own business because I love being a plumber, I love being an electrician. But I find I'm spending 1.5, 2 days a week just filling in forms. We've got to take that burden off them. And also, taxation. It's got to be a simpler and fairer taxation system.
The candidates from the main parties all agree that bringing more jobs to Lowestoft must be a top priority. After more than a decade of a Labour MP in Britain's most easterly constituency, the opposition parties will be hoping the winds of change will be blowing through this part of Suffolk. Victoria Webb, Anglia News, Lowestoft.
Well, there are 6 candidates standing in the Waveney constituency, and here's the full list.
The election is a fortnight today, and polling stations will be open from 7 in the morning until 10 at night. We're going to have another Battleground report for you tomorrow.